The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. They're still in search of an initial first down as they come up here 1st and 10. Meanwhile, Winston's throw going to be caught by Davis. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down.
When you struggle on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They go play action. Winston. And his throw here is incomplete.
Really good coverage all over the field. It took away his intended read and almost dared him to try for his guy out of the backfield. No surprise on that one. It doesn't connect.
Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10. Inside handoff to Mixon. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
He's got Fuller. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. 18 yards on his first catch of the game. It's a first down.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half, but I like their countenance. I like the way that they're having panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
Mixon with a first down carry. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on their early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. To throw is Winston. Pressure, and he's taken down. A Bear sack. Well, when you're down a couple of scores like this, CD, you can't afford too many plays that go in the wrong direction like that one.
Yeah, when you take a good look at it broadly, sacks are better than giving up an interception. But where they are on the scoreboard, they've got to get rid of all of that and just create positive plays for themselves in order to have a chance.
This offense so far on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 17. Throwing, Winston. And able to find Allen Lazard. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. It'll be a pickup of 14, but they're still a little bit short as it brings up 4th.
And I believe that gain on 3rd and long changes things quite a bit, because this would be a very long field goal. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go for it here.
They'll run with Mixon, and he will not even make it back to the line of scrimmage. Denied on 4th down is Joe Mixon, and the Bears will get the football back. Well, down 2 touchdowns already. I guess they felt they needed to go for it, but it's still early, still first half.
I think conventional wisdom says, look, as you point out, you got a whole half to play. Hang in there. Don't give up any more points in this situation. Do a little adjusting at the half and come out ready to go. But sometimes those coaches can just sense their team. Maybe they're a little flat or they need a little extra inspiration. And he decided to go for it there to try and kickstart things.
But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
And he's got this to the 30 before being taken down. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run.
So many times in my career, I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 30-yard line. Ekeler now between the tackles. To about the 26 here.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Looking to throw. Jones. And he will find his man Sutton. That's complete. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
And they'll get him down just shy of the goal line at about the 1. It's a gain of a couple, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
Well, big man with ball met bigger man on the other side of the line. A really nice play for the defense.
Two of their 3 red zone trips so far they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal. Now Jones is going to bat this forward on the jet sweep. And he'll actually lose a little bit of yardage here. Back to the 2. This defense not fooled one bit on that touch pass.
And this has become one of those kind of in vogue plays, you know, kind of like the shuffle pass was a few years ago. This one never got off the ground, but you understand why a lot of teams are running it. These wide receivers, a lot of them, they run like running backs with the ball in their hands.
Sliding out of the pocket. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. Daniel Jones, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Bears have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. Tucker able to connect on the extra point. And it's now 21-0. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. Bird will not bring this out, and the drive will begin at the 25. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive.
Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession. But I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit. And if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
Play fake. Winston.
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted.
Picked off by Stephon Gilmore.
And the Bears are going to take possession of the football.
Boy, we've seen a lot of mistakes here in this first half, and another there on the interception.
Yeah, they're certainly starting to pile up, aren't they? Because, let's face it, we expect a miscue here and there, but they're already down 3 scores and still giving the ball away. If they want to get back into this one, they've got to take care of the ball because right now the way they're playing doesn't say a whole lot for their chances.
No big surprise, Micah Parsons doing what he does so well, dropping him for a loss.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
So a 5-yard run the other way in the wrong direction, and that leads us to 2nd and 15. A pass for Sutton is intercepted. Picked off by Amani Oruwariye. And the Texans will take over possession here up at the 44. It's almost like you can see the look of frustration on his face. 4 interceptions last week. We talked about it all week. What did he do wrong? And another one here in the first half.
And you can understand the frustration. You actually feel his pain a little bit. But the worst thing he can do is what you're seeing right now, showing the other team that he's frustrated. All they're going to do is double their efforts to make him even more frustrated. He's got to gather himself, compose himself, and keep fighting.
Well, he talked a lot about erasing that loss last week, getting back in the win column. We'll see how he responds. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. It came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Winston now. This one caught by Davis.
And he'll be brought down just shy of the 40.
Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Jameis now on first down. And Jameis intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Stephon Gilmore. And the Bears are going to take over at their own 41.
Well, I'm not sure that the wheels, Charles, are coming completely off, but they're shaking a little bit. That's 3 interceptions, and now interceptions here on back-to-back drives.
And I think about what a Hall of Fame coach told me that he always told his teams, when a mistake happens, just move on to the next play. Let it go. Hard to do when you've thrown this many interceptions. That's exactly the attitude that has to be adopted. Yes, sir. How about an attaboy there on first down? Got his hand in and knocked it away.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. Back to throw. Jones
throws out left. It's caught by Williams.
They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route. And what you have to do on that one is a receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
That might be the 3rd down stop that they needed because they've had a lot of trouble slowing down this offense in the first half. This might be their opportunity to get off the field.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away.
On the return, it's Bird.
We'll call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half.
That punt was near perfection as it checked up inside the 5-yard line. You never know where these things are going to go, do you?
No, what was it? You got a John Heisman quote about that,
yeah,
right?
He said the football is roughly a prolate spheroid, which means it's going to bounce funny, and you never know where it's going to end up.
Okay.
They begin with a run by Mixon. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. So we come upon halftime here at Soldier Field with the Bears out in front. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth ready for quarter number 3. The Texans down on the scoreboard, but they do get the first crack here as we are back underway in the second half.
Bird to return from his end zone. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive.
We'll see, Charles, if they had a chance to hit the reset button at halftime. They have not scored. They're facing this big deficit. And if they're going to come back, it's going to have to start right now.
Yeah, and for them, it's not dwelling in the negative because, yes, they were totally ineffective in the first half. But we've seen many games that have flipped around in the second half. It all starts with this drive right here. They get something good going, put some points on the board, they begin to have hope.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Winston. And Thomas has it. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line. But once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
On 3rd down, Winston. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And the Bears are going to take possession of the football.
Well, I think everyone who's watching was certainly hoping to see things get a little bit better for them in this half, weren't we? But it was a downright miserable first half. This carried over with an interception to begin the second half. That's a defeated offense right there, and there's still a lot of game left. I don't think that's the last turnover we're going to see today, Buck.
Jones in trouble here, and down he goes. Dexter Lawrence able to bust free and get to the quarterback.
And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team.
Now a loose football. The ball comes out, and the Texans scoop it. He's now lost fumbles in back-to-back weeks, and of course you remember last week's game, such a close affair. That hurt him.
Hurt him in a big way, and it is so key to take care of the ball because remember, the team making the fewest mistakes usually wins the game. So you got to take care of the ball, lock it away, high and tight, as you often hear from running back coaches. 4 points of pressure, fingertips, forearm, biceps, sternum, or chest. Put it away.
They'll try to get the run game going. This is Mixon, and they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. And they'll wind up getting this to the 37. Gain of 9.
Some think the teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn into big plays.
And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Ready.
They run for it with Mixon. Oh, and I think he went backward. He did. Denied on 4th down is Joe Mixon. And the Bears will get the football back. So he needed the short yardage, Charles. He elected to try to bounce it outside of the outer third, unsuccessful.
Sometimes those plays are stacked up by the defense and there's nowhere to go, so you have to bounce it outside. And some backs just get impatient. They want to go to where they think there's more open territory instead of going where the play was actually blocked. In any case, it didn't work here. As a coaching staff, you can call just about whatever you want because you understand you have guys who reliably take away those massive shots downfield. You're not as worried about giving up the big one.
And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. They call that a loss of 6 yards. And it's 3rd down now.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
The Texans here on 3rd down, putting an extra defender in the secondary. Looking to throw. Jones. He's airing it out for Williams. And this is caught right along the sideline. What a job of keeping the toes in bounds there. A huge play there for Chicago. 57 yards. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. On the give, this is Eckler. He'll get this down inside the 10 for a pickup of about 3.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Back to throw. Jones. The tight end Kelsey has it over the middle. Touchdown Bears! Travis Kelsey with career touchdown number 60 as his guys are able to push that lead out a bit further. Tucker with the extra point, and that makes the score 28-0. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown.
Bird will not bring this out, and the drive will begin at the 25.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive.
Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here and maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual. Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down.
On 3rd and 1, here's Winston. To the catch made by Johnson.
And he is going to have a Texans first down as they're able to convert by plenty there on 3rd and 1.
Gotta say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
And he's brought down. A big one there for the Texans, 18 yards.
Well, a lot of ground left to make up, obviously. A lopsided contest, and we're already in the 3rd quarter. And they won't get it all back in one play or one drive. That's cliche, but it's true, Charles. If they can just maybe get plays like that and get a little momentum built, they can get the scoreboard a little closer.
And can you add some blinders to the cliche, meaning keep these guys from looking at the scoreboard because that doesn't help them at all right now. Their focus needs to be on finishing every drive with points and playing mistake-free football from here on out.
The end result, 21 yards. From the red zone now, Winston. Touchdown, Texans. Juwan Johnson, his first touchdown here of the new campaign.
And the Texans are able to cut into that deficit.
Extra point by Seibert up and good. And it's now a 28-7 ball game. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the 3rd quarter. You're 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
Ekeler going to get it again on second down.
And they're able to get this one across the 35.
68 yards rushing for him in the ball game now on 14 carries.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now Jones. It's Williams on the catch. It'll go as a gain of 4, and it's 2nd down.
He kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
And that's going to do it. Clock hits zeros. They're not going to get another playoff. Time has run out on this 3rd quarter.
Second down at 6 now from the 42.
Throwing Jones. Looking downfield for Kelsey. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
I think it's fairly safe to call this game over, but they're still trying to bomb it downfield and add to their lead. Almost makes you start to feel for the defense and root for them a little bit too.
The Bears on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Operating from the gun, Jones.
And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line.
A much better effort we're seeing from him under center this week versus last week when he threw 4 picks.
He has thrown the 1 in this game, but you're right. When you cut it down from 4 the previous week, and we always talk about adjustments, well, he made some in practice, and he continues to work on it during the game. I'm sure he's getting plenty of reminders about how to stay in the moment, stay focused on the task.
And he's got him in the driver's seat here in the 4th quarter. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Now a man open down the middle of the field. And he's going to be taken down with another 1st down as the stop's made at the Texans' 21. Last play they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards. Now Jones on 1st and 10. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Well, 4th quarter with a 3-score lead here, Charles, but they're still going back to the air and looking for more points.
Well, with this game well in hand, it's an opportunity for the guys to come off the bench and get a chance to play. And a lot of coaches, they want to run their full playbook no matter who's on the field.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Jones. And that is caught. Touchdown, Bears.
Jameson Williams
from 21 yards away.
And the Bears look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here in this 4th quarter.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and that'll increase their lead to 28. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive.
Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but The self-inflicted wounds. They've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. Here's Winston. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Miller. And he'll be dropped at the 36. It's a good gain of 18 on a play that originated back at the 18.
And with this game well in hand, perhaps we are seeing the coverage lighten up a little bit as they got burned there a bit for a first down.
But we certainly know the coach isn't happy along the sideline because he certainly wants them to finish this one out the way they started it. He doesn't want to give up any soft completions, no late points. He wants his lead to stay right where it is.
One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost.
And the pressure gets there, and Winston goes down.
Troy Anderson
Brings him down, and that's a play he's going to remember. The first sack of his NFL career. So it's 3rd and long, and defensively not a real surprise there in the dime. From the gun, Winston. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Even with such a big lead late, the effort hasn't lapsed one bit. If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
Desperation time. Winston on 4th down. And now here is another interception.
And the Bears are going to take possession of the football. Well, there's 2 sides to this coin. I mean, on one side, 5 interceptions now thrown for him. That's tough. But, man, this defense, they have been ball hawking and impressive. But, Charles, let's flip it back over. If you're coaching a quarterback that's struggling this much at this stage.
And he loses the football a 2nd time. And the Texans scoop it. Down the numbers. There he goes. And they will bring this one back. A fumble return for a Texans touchdown.
And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure.
And at this point, after that return for a touchdown, I guess the only thing is you're asking what else could go wrong.
Not only that, I think that between the 2 of us, we thought this was over before. I believe now it's really over.
The fumble on 1st down. Now here's 2nd down.
On the end around, here comes Williams. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. What a difference a play makes. A huge step forward, and now a small step back as he loses a yard or 2.
Not an easy spot here. They'll be in search of 13 yards to try to pick up the first.
Jones throwing on 3rd and long.
He finds Sutton crossing the formation complete.
Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. Now Justin Tucker's out to try the field goal. From the right hash and call it an even 50 yards. Tucker's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further.
So they hadn't called on him at all until this point, but he comes through here and buries one from long range.
Yeah, that's awfully impressive because usually kickers like to get that first one out of their system in the first quarter, sort of get them into the flow of the game, but to come in this late and knock it down from long distance, give him a lot of credit.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
Back to Mixon on second down.
And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
That's a nice run right there, able to get to the outside. And so many times defenses say, okay, we've got you hemmed in. But if you're running the football, at least you know where everyone is coming from. You don't have to worry about the backside at all. That allows you to run with a little bit more confidence as you traverse down the field.
And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield.
Nice effort defensively there from Cole Holcomb.
There's no question that coming into this game, this defense was pretty vocal about its desire to take this running back out of his game. And all that pregame whooping has turned into results.
And now another turnover as this one's intercepted.
Picked off by Jaquan Brisker. And the Texans are going to have the short field here as they'll take over right at the 50.
And they'll indeed take a knee. So this one in the win column for the Chicago Bears. I tell you what, I can't remember a defensive performance as good as this one. They seemingly forced turnover after turnover after turnover every time you turned around.
Yeah, you just keep going with it, can't you? After